Hey YouTubers, Guardian Mike back with you, and I want to talk about lawyers and you coming together. And one of the first things that the lawyers has to do, and they're doing it automatically, is they're assessing you for your ability to contract with the lawyer. Can you engage the lawyer and contract with them? And do you and that's probably a lower standard to hire the attorney, but then are you able to cooperate to achieve an end? So someone could hire an attorney to do something simple, and have the attorney maybe go down to the bank to title a bank account, but they might not have the capacity to hire the attorney to help with a corporation, establishing a corporation or establishing a legal entity, setting up the board, and a number of things like that, particularly if it's international. So again, there's a two-step approach when you come to a lawyer. Is one, do you have the ability to hire the lawyer? And then the second is, do you have the ability to participate in that representation? And I'm going to just refer the lawyers to the ABA model rules for professional conduct, and the preamble, and I share it with you here. I hope they changed the acronym on it, but it's the model rules for our ABA. And I have down here preamble. What I want to cut to is a lawyer's responsibility. I'm kind of proud of this. A lawyer, as a member of the legal profession, is a representative of clients, an officer of the legal system, that's the courts, and a public citizen having a special responsibility for the quality of justice. So let's assume that the lawyer and you get together, and the lawyer has already shaken your hand and has assessed that, yes, you can hire an attorney. They're not going to tell you that. They're just looking, and you haven't stumbled through the doors, and we're not in a hospital, and we're not in a mental ward. And they say, okay, you can hire an attorney and you can participate in a practice, and you come in and you have a concern about an aging parent or an accident victim that happens to be family or a neighbor. I'm going to refer you to the assessment of older adults with diminished capacity. Can we get that? And I'm going to ask Seppi, we'll have a link to the ABA where you can get this. I think there's an online PDF, or you can buy the hard copy. I just want to tell you that you're going to have to assess mom and dad, grandpa, or children to see if you're going to get some help for them. Are they of diminished capacity? And the importance of the lawyer to assess that. There are standards for diminished capacity. So when you're coming to the lawyer and saying, gee, I have mom and dad, and I'm driving mom and dad to the lawyer's office, and I want them to make me in charge, and I want them to get powers of attorney, what does that mean? And mom and dad may not be oriented time street, don't know what their name is, do not know the date, and do not know the place, time, place, and identity. And if you ask them, what's the name of the president? They don't know. Can you count back from 100? No. Can you make change for $1? A loaf of bread is 79 cents. I give you $1. What's the change? That's going to be problematic. But and there, I want you to know that you're planning this so don't wait until there's a crisis where mom and dad, and it happens, and you got to deal with it, when mom and dad have diminished capacity or have lost capacity. So if you're trying to put your affairs in order, let me underline that. You're trying to put your affairs in order, people are going to take a look at capacity when you walk through those doors. You can be 21 or you can be 121. That is a threshold, and we're going up the stairs. Lawyers are going to be taking a look at that. Now, a lawyer can assess capacity, and there's a capacity worksheet for lawyers in this. And this is open to the public. Get a copy of it, download it, take a look at it, and see what the issues are. There are techniques, and I want you to understand some of these issues regarding assessment of capacity, okay? And capacity has to do with the person, the individual themselves, but we then begin to talk about the environment that you're around. So if you do a If you lack capacity and start signing papers, they may not work for you. They may be dead on arrival. So you want to have capacity. The lack of capacity is the reason to challenge papers that you're signing. Could be a will, could be a power of attorney. You want to avoid that. So when someone has diminished capacity, but their lights are flickering, but they haven't gone out, maybe there are ways that you can, is mom and dad better in the morning, better at the afternoon? Let the lawyer know. Do we need brighter lights for someone who's aging? Probably so. Bigger print? Probably so. And is English a second language for someone? And maybe we have to talk in their first primary language and then talk about English, because the thought process is the dignity of an individual. There is the dignity of an individual to participate in decisions if they have capacity, even when they have diminished capacity. And this ABA document will help you. And I just wanted to let you know it's a tool for you to understand. I'm coming at it from the point of view of the non-lawyer, the moms and dads, the children taking care of the moms and dads. As you come to the lawyer, take a look at that, consider assessment, what you have to deal with. And particularly parents now, or children, that are scattered over the world or throughout the United States, and somebody's in California, has to deal with a sibling in North Carolina and the sibling in North Carolina. So sisters in California, brother whom she loves is in North Carolina, and brother has a child that's probably of diminished capacity, and that child is caring for, brother in North Carolina, and it ain't going well. And Adult Protective Services has showed up at the house, and you're deciding to get involved or not get involved. And you want to know in your mind, when you start, if you're in California and you're going to talk to a North Carolina lawyer, they're going to be thinking, and you're going to be pounding the table saying, I love my brother, I know he has a good daughter, let the daughter take care of him. And the lawyer is saying, look, we got a problem here, Do you know that your loved one in North Carolina hasn't taken a shower in 30 days? Do you know that? And, well, that can't be because they're living with their child. Well, do you know that child has some issues? What do you mean? You can go on and on and on for days about the story, but you begin to say, well, have we assessed them for capacity? If we haven't, can we get them assessed for capacity? That's where this helps you talk the language of the lawyers, and you cut to the chase. And we'll discuss that. And you may have diminished capacity. It doesn't mean that you've lost any battles or anything like that. It does mean that when you're informed about where people are at, you will begin to exchange information with the lawyer, and you'll generate solutions that maybe nobody's thought about. But get some information. Maybe we do some assessment. I will guarantee you, if you have a loved one in the Carolinas and being cared for by a child, and there is neglect or abuse, APS, Adult Protective Services, is going to be banging on the door. The police are going to be coming in there, and people will be removed from the home. And we want to stop that crash and burn taking place, okay? So I hope that's helpful. But this is a primer on assessment. And if you're not an expert in assessment, the question you want to ask, can you train yourself in the assessment techniques? You may not have to do them yourself. Or who do you gather that has that? If you can't train yourself and you don't know, who can we train? Who can we gather to surround us who know, that knows or can be trained to solve those solutions on assessing, okay? That's why it's important. Once you enter that system, medical, legal, or educational, those assessments are going on. And it's probably hyper so now that we're in baby boomers are aging at a phenomenal rate. I never heard this stuff 30, 40 years ago. Now it's like every week I'm getting it. Every week. And so I hope that's helpful for you. And bottom line, adults with diminished capacity, the assessment. Why? Because if you've gone over the line, you got one set of options. If you're before that incapacity, you got a whole lot more options. That's why it's important to know, and that line moves a little bit. Do we have incapacity or don't we have incapacity? Are the lights flickering or are they off? Okay? Because your options are far greater if we have capacity or even diminished capacity. But if we've lost capacity, your options are limited. I hope that is helpful. Ms. Seppi, is that a wrap? Okay, and then Ms. Seppi, are you going to be able to give everybody a link to this document?
Yes.
Is it for no extra charge?
No.
She says it's free. Can't we get a little something? Maybe like a subscribe or
Subscribe.
or live? They got to subscribe and you get a free copy of this. Okay, or you'll do the PDF. We don't have them. We will connect you to them. You don't even have to wait for the link. ABA, check it out. Okay? All right.